Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Clark and Addison, Born into the Ivy. My name is David Butler, and I am your host. We have some spring training topics. Spring training battles are our three main topics today for our second ever podcast. So glad to have you here. Hope that you enjoy listening. The three main storylines, I think, for this spring are who's going to be the fifth starter, who will make the bullpen, and who will start at third base. Obviously, by now we all know that Alex Bregman shunned the Cubs and the Tigers and signed with the Boston Red Sox for 3 years, $120 million. Some of that money was deferred, but that is an AAV of $40 million a year. There are only two other players in the major leagues who make that much money on average per season. That's insane. Absolutely insane. The Cubs offered 4 years at $115 million, which was a $28.75 million AAV, and the Tigers had offered the 6 years, $171 million, which was $28.5 million AAV. So I think, and this is probably an unpopular opinion, but I firmly believe that the Cubs dodged a bullet here. Like I said, I think that the Cubs have really dodged a bullet here. Over the past 3 seasons, Alex Bregman's WRC Plus peaked 3 years ago at 2022 at 137. In 23 he had 126, and in 24 it was 118. Don't get me wrong, those are all really good numbers. They're all well above average, but he's declined every year since 2022 and has now costed the Red Sox $40 million a year on average. That's crazy. Some of that's deferred, like I said. The Cubs, they don't really do deferred money anymore. That's not something that Tom Ricketts is willing to do. I think Matt Shaw can still do that. Do we know what Matt Shaw can bring to the table exactly yet? No. But the upside is there, and it's for a whole heck of a lot less money than paying someone who seems to be declining at top dollar. Only 2 players, like I said, in the MLB now make more money than Bregman on an AAV scale. That's not where the Cubs should be allocating this money. If they can't allocate it on somebody who is going to impact the team now and going forward in the next few years, then they need to save that money to divvy it up amongst people who can. At AA and AAA, Matt Shaw crushed it last year. I know this is just in the minors and it doesn't always translate, but there are plenty of reasons to believe that it can. He had 21 home runs, stole 31 bases, and had a 314 average of balls put in play, with a WRC plus at 148 for 2024. If this guy can be anywhere close to the 118 that Bregman was last year, at a mere fraction of the cost in the show, then we've got a steal. I know some fans out there wanted Bregman because he's proven, but I truly think that these stats show that he is also declining, and when you consider that money, the Cubs might have dodged a bullet here. Storyline number 2, the Cubs bullpen, and who makes up that bullpen. There are so many different options right now. It's crazy. We got Ryan Presley, Porter Hodge, Eli Morgan, Ryan Brashear, Nate Pearson, Tyson Miller, Keegan Thompson, Ethan Roberts, Julian Merriweather, and the list goes on. There are starters who will be competing for the bullpen depending on how well they pitch, possible starters for fifth starter position. There's just so many. I don't know that there's any locks outside of these 3 or 4. Ryan Presley, Porter Hodge, Eli Morgan, and Ryan Brashear. And it's still possible that they could add somebody else. There's plenty of money left in the budget. But I don't know where you put these guys. There are plenty of options, and it will be interesting to see who makes the roster as in the bullpen. And I think there's too many options right now to say who we think are locks and who are not, with the exception of those 4 that we just talked about. The fifth starter battle is the third one, and I think the most fascinating of all of them. There are so many different options with these guys. Between Javier Assad, who is got hurt on Sunday, his first bullpen session, and has been shut down. But I don't think you can completely count him out yet. Colin Rea, Jordan Wicks, and Ben Brown, I think, are the biggest other ones. But Cody Petit is also in there, and definitely a possibility. I have some stats I want to go through And to put some of these in perspective, we're going to talk about some different stats, ERA, Ks per 9 inning, walks, but we're going to real quick go over what the FIP. FIP is fielding independent pitching, is a metric that demonstrates what baseball pitchers are able to control, like strikeouts, walks, hit by pitches, and home runs. By excluding the effects of fielding and luck, baseball's FIP offers an assessment of a pitcher's skill set. I wanted to go over some of these and what they are because I don't think all listeners know exactly what they are, and so I wanted to touch on what those are too. Sierra stands for Skill Interactive Earned Run Average. As baseball statistics have developed, it has become clear the traditional ERA does not always do a great job of identifying the true skill level of a pitcher. Therefore, a variety of other options have emerged, and Sierra has come to be respected as one of the most valuable. I want to share some of the stats that I pulled off Fangraphs of those 5 players, but first I want to share, just for reference, of what Justin Steele has done over the past 3 years with some of these stats. His WAR in 2022 was 2.5, in 23 was 4.8, and in 24 was 3. That's wins above replacement. WAR is that pitcher or that player gets that many more wins over what a average replacement player would do. Sierra, which we just talked about, was 3.81, 3.61, and 3.74 for Justin Fields. And his FIP was 3.2, 3.02, and 3.23. Anything that's under 3 is excellent. Anything over 5, not so great. So, without further ado, we're going to talk about Cody Petit. In 2021, 22, and 24, he has a small sample sizes for all these in the majors. But his FIP, or his ERA, in 21 was 4.99, in 22, 3.86, and in 24, 2.22 for the Yankees this last year. That sounds amazing, but it was only in 24.1 third innings, or 24 and a third innings, that he had that 2.22. His FIP was 4.03. His Sierra was 4.74. His barrel rate was pretty low at 5.6, and his hard contact rate was 22.5. Again, though, we're talking about a small sample size in this time. But Cody Petit, I think, has some decent upside. Colin Ray he was an average pitcher. His ERA was 4.55 in 23, 4.29 in 24. His FIP, though, was 4.9 and 4.75. His Sierra was 4.37 and 4.33. His barrel hit rate was 7.7 and 8.7. I think Colin Ray and Javier Assad are pretty similar pitchers in a lot of these stats. Javier Assad had a 5.09 in 22. In 23, he had a 4.41 Sierra. And in 24, he had a 4.72 Sierra. His FIP was 4.49 in 22, 4.29 in 23, and 4.64 in 24. All of those numbers are far above what his ERA was. In 22, he had an ERA of 3.11, 23 at 3.05, and 24 at 3.73. So I think that Javier had some luck in there too. Is what these stats are insinuating with the ERA versus the FIP and the Sierra. His hard contact rate also went up. In 22, it was 5.2, 23, 9, and in 24, it's slightly down to 8.7. In comparison, Jordan Wicks, who I think many would argue was not nearly as effective as Javier Assad last year, his FIP was 5.32, which was quite a bit higher, but his hard barrel rate was 8.8, which is right there with Javier Assad's. I like Jordan Wicks. I think he has a ton of upside. He is a little bit younger than Javier Assad, quite a bit younger than Cody Petit and Colin Ray. So I think even if he doesn't work out as a starter right now, he's got a ton of potential as a bullpen arm, I think. Ben Brown has a potential in all of these spots. Ben Brown, his Ks per 9 innings last year in 55 and a third innings was 10.41, which is higher than all of these guys, including what Justin Steele was. Last year, Justin Steele was 9.02. His highest that he's had in the majors, Justin Steele, 9.53. Ben Brown's was 10.41. Now, his walk rate was much higher than what Justin Steele's is right now as well. It was 3.09. but it was not much higher than what he did in 22. His ERA was 3.58, really solid. His FIP was 3.11. His WAR in 15 games, 8 games started, only 55 in the third innings, was 1.3. Sierra was 3.43. His barrel rate was a little high, in my opinion, at 10.9%. Hard hit rate also high a little bit at 36.2. Medium hit rate was 45.7, and soft hit rate at 18.1, which was much better than a lot of the other guys. I think Ben Brown has by far the highest upside. It's just whether or not we can keep him healthy. Does it make more sense to get him through a whole season healthy and try and put him in a bullpen for this year? Or does it make sense to try and get him to be the fifth starter and drag that out? Use the Jordan Wicks, Colin Ray, Cody Petit, or Javier Assad to spot start so that we can elongate Ben Brown. He doesn't have to make 30 starts. He can make 20. If Ben Brown can make 20 and 25 starts and have those kinds of numbers or better this year, Ben Brown as a fifth starter, well, frankly, Ben Brown won't actually be the fifth starter at that point. That is awesome impact numbers that Ben Brown can bring to this Major League team. I've heard people talk about how we need to get another proven arm, a right-handed arm specifically, to go in between Shota Imanaga and Justin Steele. Ben Brown could be that guy. We may already have this guy. As you all can see, I want Ben Brown to win this fifth starter spot. I think that he has a huge impact arm, and I don't think that there's very many people that would disagree with me on that. Thank you for joining me here today on episode 2 of Clark and Addison, Born into the Ivy. However you subscribe to your podcast, I thank you for listening to us here on Clark and Addison, Born into the Ivy. Please like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Also, if you feel so inclined, please make sure to leave a 5-star review. Leave me some comments, and have a great day. Paisley, send them home.
Go Cubs, go!
Living on the water, counting days since last summer.